Welcome back for another helping of oysters, clams, and class warfare presented by Bolin Media. Oysters, clams, and Carrie Coon. Oysters, clams, and Clock Boy.
Great. Clock Twink, I believe, is the going online nickname for old John there. Yeah.
I'm Ross Bolin here with Barrett Dudley to discuss and review the Gilded Age Season 3. You're finally caught up, Barrett. Welcome to the big show.
Yes, it feels good. Those are all great names. Speaking of oysters, clams, and Carrie Coon, I was...
It's Jack, not John.
Jack, excuse me. Jack.
Come on,
yes.
Show Clock Boy Twink some respect.
My bad. Wow,
Jesus.
what a gaffe. What a gaffe. I was scrolling the HBO Max app. I was looking for Hacks. I'm finally getting into season 4 of Hacks. And I came across the grab for Gilded Age. And it's just a one-shot of, it's just Bertha, it's just Carrie Coon, basically standing with her arms across her chest, and it's like the Gilded Age. And I was just like, God, let's just put Carrie Coon in
everything.
In everything. One HBO show a year she should be in. She should just be the HBO queen. You know what I mean? She kind of is already, I guess.
That's sort of the mantle she's taken up.
But more, please.
More Carrie Coon.
You know,
can't go wrong.
I don't know. She's a phenomenal actor, and yet it doesn't really seem like she's getting a whole lot of she's not getting a bunch of Oscar baity movie roles at the moment.
Yeah, I think we should be happy for that.
And so give me, I need more. I need a steady diet. I need a steady stream of Queen Carrie.
She's arguably in 3 of the best HBO shows ever.
Yes.
At this point. Between
they're all in the top 15, wouldn't you say?
The Leftovers, The White Lotus, and The Gilded Age.
Yeah.
Carrie Coon.
Maybe top 10. I don't know. I'd have to go back and see.
Well, let's run through. All right, so you finally finished. You watched the final 2 episodes, the penultimate and the finale. Yes. You've got notes. I've got notes. Yeah, I rewatched the finale last night.
Great. You just stopped me anywhere along the way, but I basically thought that I recapped the 2 episodes in my notes in the same format that I did for episodes 4 through 6. Yeah, last week. So I'll just jump in, and you stop me where you want to.
Hit us.
Balls, Ross. That's what's on everybody's mind as we head towards the finale. You see, it's the end of the season in Newport, and both Elizabeth Kirkland and Lena Astor are preparing to give their famous balls. Issues are aplenty for both women, however. You see, Elizabeth, she's heard through the grapevine about Peggy Scott's deceased child who was potentially had out of wedlock. Despite not knowing the whole story, she promptly tells her son, who must confront Peggy about the situation. Peggy confirms the rumors, but she fills in the gaps. The good doctor decides he needs to take a walk, leaving Peggy an absolute mess. Mrs. Kirkland, thinking she's won, confronts Dorothy Scott, that's Peggy's mom. I want to give special shouts to Audra McDonald, who plays Dorothy, who I know from stuff. She's got a very familiar face. I love her as Dorothy. She's the best mom on this show at the moment. She's got the one with her head on her shoulders, in the right way, I would say.
Yeah,
and the mom's meddling, kind of a recurring theme, right? So Elizabeth, let's see, where was I? Yes, Mrs. Kirkland, thinking she's won, confronts Peggy's mom, Dorothy, at a dress fitting and basically tries to uninvite the family. But Dorothy stands her ground and says that they're all coming, and that will be that, ya bitch. In the end, love wins out. Dr. William defies his mother and proposes to Peggy with a super sick ring at his mom's ball. Suck it, Liz! Mom's doing too much, also a theme of the last 2 episodes.
It is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Any notes?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm going to let you roll.
As for the other ball, Lena's daughter is the subject of tabloid gossip and salacious rumors. Her husband apparently challenged her lover to a duel, and it seems she's headed for a messy divorce, which means if Lena throws the ball, she'll have to exclude her own flesh and blood.
Lena Astor?
Lena Astor, yeah. She tells Bertha...
It's Mrs. Astor to you, Barrett. Don't call her Lena. You're not on that level.
Mrs. Astor tells Bertha, Mrs. Russell, she tells Bertha that she has to throw it now. It's the only way. But plot twist. Bertha, ever the vibe shifter, is going to include the divorcees, including Aurora Fane and Mrs. Astor's daughter.
Scandal.
Consider my pearls clutched. One person not on the guest list, Ward McAllister. For some inexplicable reason, he's written a juicy tell-all exposing many of society's secrets, and now he is also shocked Ross.
He's out.
That he's become persona non grata.
What the hell was that guy thinking? Great character, Ward
yes.
McAllister.
Yeah.
And then suddenly in season 3, they're like, Ward, your new book is out. Everybody gets a hold of it. They start reading it. And they're like, oh, he put all the juicy personal details of our lives into the book. Well,
Yeah.
guess we can't hang out with that guy anymore because clearly he can't be trusted. And I don't know what he thought was going to happen when he dropped that book.
Yeah, so this is a real thing pulled from history. Ward McAllister did write a book which got him excommunicated from society. But I feel like the show had to gloss over many months or years of like his kind of slow falling out from society or something. Because there's no way that he was just like kind of near the top. He was Mrs. Astor's right-hand man. He had coined the term the 400. He was like the kind of he was in charge of the guest list and all of that. You know, he was back there. He was behind the scenes pulling the strings, at least, you know, along with Mrs. Lena Astor. And then for him to just out of nowhere be like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell everybody all about this. I'm going to air everybody's dirty laundry. And I think they'll be okay with that.
Surely they won't react negatively to me airing all of their secrets. Yeah, that was
so
inexplicably
a little choppy, I might say. And it was one of those things that felt like they kind of needed. So we'll obviously talk about this at the end, but I'm a little worried about the show maybe sticking too much to history. I kind of wish that they'd start just like
do whatever they want.
Doing whatever they want. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, Aurora feigns a yes. Ward McAllister's a no. Marion Brooke, a maybe. While helping Jack, a.k.a. Clock Twink, pick a new luxurious bachelor pad, she learns that Larry did in fact do nothing untoward in that house of ill repute. But the damage has been done, Ross, because now Larry is sus that Marion was so sus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The old reverse Uno.
Yeah. Yes. It's been a real roller coaster for old Lair, who saved his family by, finding copper in the mines and netting them extra tens of millions to pad their stash. That just very obvious, Ross. Why wouldn't he have done that? It was a very simple fix. I don't know why nobody else just decided to do that. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. Yes.
His fortune is saved.
Thank God. So he does all that only to come home and find out he'd been dumped. What a shame. On top of all of it, after wrapping up some biz with Pops, a murderous henchman appears with a special delivery, and it's a bullet for George.
Oh, shit. Dramatic.
George's lucky streak continues, however, Ross, because as it happens, Dr. Kirkland is across the street calling on Peggy, and he rushes over and he saves everybody's favorite multimillionaire. This brush with death has George rethinking everything. He advises Larry to bury the hatchet and find happiness with Marion, because there will always be fights and ups and downs, but there will also be love. A lot of lies, Ross, and a lot of love. Boy.
Good reference.
It sure sounds like he's softening on his current beef with Bertha, doesn't it? Thank goodness. Any lingering concerns are fully put to bed when Mr. Russell makes an appearance at the big dance and shows unity and strength, standing by his wife. After all, Gladys is managing to find happiness with the Duke, who gives the boot to Lady Sarah, and we can chalk up one more W for Mrs. Russell, as Mrs. Lena Astor also chooses love and shows up to the ball in support of her daughter.
Love over society.
Love over society for a lot of people here. Yeah,
indeed.
Ross will end where it all began, at the Van Ryn household. Aunt Agnes finally gets some dignity back when she's asked to be the vice president of a heritage foundation.
The New York Heritage Foundation, I believe
Thanks
it is.
to her very impressive American lineage. You know, people don't talk about Aunt Agnes's impressive American lineage enough.
Not enough, no.
But she basically had, like, you know, her great-grandfather was like
on Plymouth Rock.
Put his name on the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sailed over with George Washington on the boat, the famous painting, you know.
Oh yeah, he was in there.
He was basically on the boat.
He was in there.
He was right
across
in
the
there.
old Delaware.
Across the Delaware. After learning this news, in a show of real grace and maturity, she lets Aunt Ada take her rightful place at the head of the dinner table. You know,
Big step.
Yes, big step.
You made a call for me. Now you can be at the head of the table.
That's right. Ada, meanwhile, seems to have thankfully moved on from her temperance activism and leaned into women's suffrage instead. Good call, Aunt Ada.
Yes, no, that was a storyline I didn't need any more of. Just her holding meetings to talk about temperance did nothing for me. And I don't even drink.
Time for my big shout number 2, which is to Pumpkin, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, who does make an appearance in these last 2 episodes.
Still alive.
Pumpkin, still going strong.
We were worried about Pumpkin.
We were worried about Pumpkin, and there she was getting walked and just being a jolly old sport. Oscar Van Ryn is also getting his groove back, Ross. After very nearly coming out of the closet during his despair over the death of John Adams, he finally finds purpose in a new pursuit.
Didn't quite come out, just banged on it from the inside.
That's
he was
right,
banging
that's
on the door.
Yeah, I think...
And Marion kind of swooped in and was like, let's just pump the brakes here, friend.
Yeah. Yeah,
Your mom can't handle this kind of news.
And Ada, naive enough to just go with the flow, not really suspect anything. I think Aunt Agnes was maybe getting...
She was picking up on what he was laying down a bit.
She was getting the picture painted for her.
Yeah.
Marion, what did you think Marion was going to lean Ada naivety or Agnes understanding?
I think Marion is in the camp where she does not believe it is her business.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think she was going to read into it one way or the other. I think the second she even started to get an inkling, she was like, you know what? It's not my business. Going to protect, though.
Yes. But I was leaning towards Marion kind of being on the Ada, like, oh, he's surely not saying anything weird. It's very natural to be upset about his friend. But then she sits on the bed with him and she's like, I don't really get it. I don't understand, but like,
you do you.
You do you. And I understand that there's more than I understand that there's more than I understand.
Right.
Happening here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
she gets it, but she doesn't get it.
Correct.
But she doesn't need to get it all the way.
But a nice moment between cousins there. And yes, Oscar obviously very broken up about the death of his lover John Adams, but
Uncle Father Oscar.
Cue the Bugs Bunny meme, because it's time for Oscar to go back to the old him. He cavorts with old friend Turner, Mrs. Winterton if you nasty. He proposes a transactional but dynamic marriage that could see them run this town yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big move from Oscar.
Big move
Psychotic
from Oscar.
move.
Yes.
I'll have more to say on that later.
But I was glad because the John Adams death kind of seemed out of nowhere, a little bit forced. And I was glad that they kind of immediately answered why they needed to do that, because they wanted Oscar to go back to pursuing money through marriage, essentially.
Right.
Yes. And it brings Turner, Mrs. Winterton, back into the fold in a meaningful way, who's a really fun foil for Mrs. Russell. So at the end of the day, I was good with all that.
Me too.
But wait! One more scene, Ross. After the ball. Cut to George and Bertha. George has finally had it with Bertha's meddling and social politicking. You see, he's ruthless in business, but Bertha's ruthless in life. She's ruthless with the people she's loved, nay, for the people she loves, if you listen to Mrs. Russell. But he can't forgive her for what she's done to Gladys.
Who seems to be perfectly happy.
And he's no longer sure what he wants. Dun, dun, dun.
Cue her running to the window, looking out as his carriage drives away, and roll credits.
Roll credits. Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah, and that's that. End
Okay,
of season 3.
So did you see how I said they really sped things up for the last few episodes, where it's just like bam, 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 bam? So like,
yes,
it basically starts with George Russell's son having those minds re-examined,
yes,
and being like, the fortune is saved, and like from that point on in the season, everything is just like bam, 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 bam. All of a sudden the pace seemed frenetic, and I'm chalking that up to like budgeting and them having to do fewer episodes. But especially rewatching the finale, I was just like, God, they move so fast all of a sudden for what is a very chill, slow-paced show.
Yeah, it's possible that you just buttered me up for it, and so I didn't feel
bother you as much.
Speed in the finale. I think more what I would say what I felt, honestly, what I felt was the most rushed, or the most, dare I say, unearned. Was this final scene? Was the
George
Bertha fallout?
Yeah.
And I know that yes, they have teased it. They have come back to that. They have shown that there is strife there. He moved out. He's staying at the club. Those are big decisions, but you always kind of felt like And maybe they did exactly what they wanted to do, which is make the audience feel like, of course, these two people are going to come back together because they are so united in their pursuit and of everything and in their ambition. So I found that very jarring. I found that very jarring to end with him essentially threatening divorce. Now, the more I've thought about it, the more I guess I get it, because that was a big theme of this season. And even though Lena does kind of, in the end, agree to come to this dance, she talks about how the
Mrs. Astor.
She talks about how the ballroom is kind of filled with new money trash instead of old money respectability, and even says at one point that this is going to become an epidemic,
right?
You know, and so she's teeing that up as well as a storyline that Bertha kind of giving this okay as the new head of society to leaving marriages and leaving relationships could actually do damage to herself.
Okay, let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through some of my notes here. Mr. Russell gets shot. Who had him shot? Richard Clay is who they think it was. Old Dick Clay.
Dick Clay, yes. Yeah.
He's obviously in a bad spot.
They put a PI on him now. They're trying to sort it out.
Yeah, they're trying to figure that out. But Mr. Russell essentially told Clay, well, I won. You're done here.
Yeah.
You'll never work in this town again.
Yeah. One of his favorite refrain as far as threats go is like, you're never going to get a job in New York City again.
And Richard Clay's like, I'm not going to die off that easily, which obviously leaves us as an audience to believe that, well, clearly this is the guy who probably had him shot here, right? Right? I guess we'll have to wait till season 4 to find out if they even go back to that storyline at all.
Correct.
But Mr. Russell is shot. Mrs. Russell's first reaction is, don't tell the police.
Yeah.
They want to avoid the scandal, right?
Correct.
Which I feel like is sort of a microcosm of her whole problem. She looks at everything through the lens of society first, right? Not what's most important, which is love, health, and happiness. It's through the lens of society, right? If this was Chappelle's show, they would have refused the doctor for being black, and he would have died as a racial gag, which occurred to me during my second watch through. But Dr. Kirkland crushes it, though, saves Mr. Russell's life.
Yep.
And by the end of the episode, George Russell is attending balls and shit.
That's right.
Took a gut shot from a gun.
Yes.
And 30 minutes later in the episode, he's walking around the dance floor.
You know, his rib protected him. The bullet lodged in his rib, and it did not splinter. And here's a little tie to our coverage on Patreon, where we're watching The Wire. And if you do go listen to that, you will see that Ross and I are both very, very, very knowledgeable
experts
about
guns and ammunition.
Ammunition sizing.
Ammunition specifically.
Ammunition
we know
specifically.
Probably more than anyone living.
Yeah, like if you want to know what the difference between like a 45 and a 9mm is.
We're your boys.
We're your boys.
Not here, though. Only on Patreon.
Here, only on Patreon.
Only on Patreon if you want that kind of inside info.
All that to say, this is 1890s, and the ammunition... It's not as hard hitting,
not as damaging as today's ammo.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
no, agreed. It's just insane
that would at least that would be my expert opinion.
He goes from his deathbed to attending a ball in one episode.
Yeah,
which is pretty quick recovery there.
Yeah.
White doctor shows up late and is like, I'm shocked a black guy could pull this off. Maybe they're not all bad. Marianne and Larry make up because Larry's dad got shot. That creates like an entryway.
Okay.
You know, for them to come back together.
It does, but I felt like they're kind of you know, when they come together at the ball, they're still not really on the same page. Did you sense that?
Yeah, Larry's got a little bit of a different tude than he did prior.
Yes. And like
it's like he's overplaying his hand a bit.
A little bit. Yeah, like just like accept apology and move on, bro. But you know, and he kind of ends it in that way that sometimes you have to end a fight with a spouse, even though it's not really the healthiest way, which is to be like, well, you know what? I guess we're just not going to agree or come to a resolution on this here fight tonight. So let's put it in our pocket.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We'll circle back. Let's build some more resentment for each other. We'll circle back.
So may I have this dance, but also not totally over that thing yet.
Yeah, look,
So
it's a real relationship dynamic where it's like she's mad at him because he went to this house of ill repute
and lied about it.
Yes. And lied by omission or lied point blank?
He lied point blank. He said he was going to Delmonico's.
You're right. Yeah, and then he went to the house of ill repute.
And then he went to a house where there are huas.
So she breaks up with him. Hua! She breaks up with him. He's very, very, very upset by this. He wants an explanation. Mm-hmm. He finally gets it. He's like, I only went for a drink. I didn't even get a lap dance. No, I didn't even look at the women. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's a very, like, it's been a long time since I've been to a strip club or anything in that vein.
Sure.
And as such, I have not really thought about it, but like, there's still a version of this that exists in modern society, and it's the tit bar, the strip club, right? And there are women who are okay with their men attending the strip club, and there are women who are not okay with their men attending the strip club, and this is the version of that from 18 whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But he only went for a drink, Barrett. So in response to him getting her back, he's like, I still need to feel like I have the moral superiority here. Mm-hmm. So now he flips it on her.
He does. He kind of gaslights her. To put it in 2025
yeah,
context.
Dude, it does feel that way a bit. He's like, well, I lied to you, but I didn't do anything wrong, and you didn't trust me.
Yeah, because I told you I didn't do anything wrong,
and you should have believed that.
And then you only believed it once Jack told you that and confirmed it, basically, and like you'll believe him, but you won't believe me.
Right. Which it's like, well, you didn't earn her trust
yes,
yet.
Exactly.
Like, this is your fault still, guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And I hate to do this to our boy, but it's like, come on, man. Like you jacked this. Anyway, the standards for relationships and marriage and like what you needed to have accomplished between you, you basically, like between these two, Marion and Larry, they're like, there can be no blemish. Nothing can have been even close to questionable.
Yeah.
Or we have to call the whole thing off, which is just, it was kind of mind-blowing to see.
It kind of goes back to your point from a few weeks ago where we talked about how, like, especially in this era, sometimes the arranged marriages actually, like, worked out a little bit better because there wasn't all of that kind of, like, early, we have to establish something perfect before we decide to build the house.
Yeah, it's a reverse.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a honeymoon phase that leads to a marriage and another honeymoon phase, and then you're in the the what do they call it in World War I? Then the trenches. You're not in the trenches. You know what I mean? You start in the trenches. You build toward a honeymoon phase, like where Gladys is like at now, right? Anyway, it seems like, is their engagement, Marion and Larry, back on by the end of the episode? I feel like yes. But maybe not all the way?
I don't think all the way.
Can't remember.
I don't think all the way. I feel like they left that pretty vague. And like, I think they're going to enjoy the ball. It's ball season.
Balls.
But we'll see. I feel like they are... I also think the show wanted to give them some headwinds, you know?
Yeah.
So can't just be like
completely perfect.
Like, now Marion found her perfect beau.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that like even Aunt Agnes, speaking of moms or surrogate moms meddling too much, is like, you know what? You should just
let this one
go and figure it out. Like, I think they'll be okay. They'll get back together. Yeah.
Don't let this one instance of him attending a house of ill repute just for one drink ruin the love you found.
Yes, and to go back to the original sin, right? Like, if you like get a brand new girlfriend and like they've they've known each other for well, I guess they've been courting for a little while because they've had to keep it all secret and hush hush.
Yeah.
But like, you just got engaged, and the first thing that you're going to do is be like, oh, by the way, I had a bachelor party scheduled tonight, and I'm probably going to be what does Lester Freeman say on The Wire? Rubbing some tit.
Yeah. He don't want to go to no dance.
Now Larry didn't rub,
but
but he may have seen. You know,
he may have seen. There was tit there.
You don't want to just come out and say that right off the jump.
And thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah.
The night of the day they got engaged.
Yeah.
He went to this place.
Yeah.
For a bachelor party.
Yeah. Now he probably should have waited till after the bachelor party until getting engaged, just to really keep it on the up.
Yeah. Or just don't go to the bachelor party, guy. They're like announcing it to Agnes and Ada. They're like, we're engaged. Yeah. And he's like, all right, guys, I got to head out.
Yeah,
got a thing.
You're right. This is all on Larry.
This is all Larry's fault.
Larry.
It's all on Larry. It's insane that he does successfully flip it on her. He's got her completely fucking gaslit at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Have to bring it up again. So incredibly coincidental that George Russell is about to lose his fortune and gets saved because he appoints his son to handle some business, which results in him winning the mining lottery, essentially. In a very convenient twist there.
Yes.
That's another example of the show working pretty fucking fast. They spend the whole season being like, oh shit, the Russell family fortune could be in trouble. Just after we saw the Van Ryn fortune go up in freaking flames. And what happened after the Van Ryn fortune went up in flames, Barrett?
They immediately got a get out of jail free card.
Because a priest died. Turns out he was wealthy. And he happened to have married Agnes.
Yeah.
Or Ada? I get them confused.
Ada, yes.
Ada. So they fixed that one with a very, very quick fix.
Convenient and quick.
The next season, Mr. Russell is on the verge of losing his fortune for like 6 straight episodes. And then he's like, you know what? Larry boy, you get in there. Go over there. Make stuff happen in this mining town. And Larry comes back and is like, I had them go back into the mines. And it turns out there's $1 bajillion in fucking copper or whatever in there. Like, come on, again.
Larry wanted to create an opportunity. He wanted to create opportunity.
A couple of very quick fixes for our wealthy families here, our 2 main families.
Okay. I think because of what this show has established over the first 2 seasons, I kind of look at this as it's hard because I feel like it's a feature, not a bug. Right? Like, I'm okay with it because this show is this the highest of the low stakes or the lowest of the high stakes, whatever you want to call it.
High stakes, low stakes.
High stakes, low stakes. Like, it's fine. Like, a lot of the times I'm glad that they don't draw things out or that they don't kind of make us suffer in a way, right?
I completely agree.
Now the Van Ryn family has to go live, downtown.
Completely agree.
Like, no, just like fix that shit. And let's keep it moving. So I like that. This one was especially funny that they kind of did this again.
But that's the way I look at it. Funny. But it's kind of funny.
But
I want to be crystal clear. I do not care.
But I think like at this point, this very much we can just expect this now.
Yeah.
If some favorites, if some characters look like they're heading for ruin, they almost
might catch a break.
They almost definitely will be saved.
Yeah, and again, I'm just talking about this because it's very hilarious to me.
Yes, and I texted you about this one especially because
you're
it was
good.
Oh, good. The mines, Ross. They have copper in them.
Now, it could be not over yet, that storyline. We'll see, because if they as we know, if they get too greedy and they mine too deep, they could awaken a Balrog or something from Lord of the Rings. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Dr. Kirkland proposes to Peggy. He doesn't care that his mother judges her for having a child out of wedlock and being convinced that child died when in reality her father had it adopted and lied to her. Dr. Kirkland's mother sucks.
Yes.
Is there a more hateable character on the show than her right now?
No.
Because Mrs. What's-Her-Name in the downstairs of the Van Ryn house has kind of been shelved. Armstrong didn't have much to do this season.
Right.
Armstrong still doesn't like that Clock Twink made his fortune seemingly overnight.
Yeah.
And but Mrs. Armstrong is less hateable than she once was.
Yeah, and she's fine. She's like, they're like, aren't you going to say anything? And she's like, he did well, Yeah,
fine. By the end, you feel some warmth there.
Good job.
Yeah, you feel some warmth there. Whereas with Dr. Kirkland's mother, you're just hoping this woman will get hit by a fucking horse and buggy like John Adams did.
Yeah, put her in the, she's up there, Liv Soprano, like a character on TV that reminded me of Liv Soprano recently that it's not coming to my mind, but maybe it was the Penguin's mom.
That was one. Toxic Mommy
pantheon here.
His dad is solid, though. Like his dad, Dr. Kirkland's dad.
They were very clearly, like they were paralleling the a lot with we had the white ball happening, we had the black ball happening, and like George is getting really mad at Bertha for the meddling, and he finally he calls her out and he sticks it to her, and then Dr. Kirkland's dad, whose name is slipping my mind, Elizabeth is his mom, he does the same thing, right? He's like, you gotta stop. I've had enough. I've had it up to here with your meddling and your, he's gotta do his own thing.
You're judging and meddling.
You're meddling. So it's those are
right.
very
very paralleled. I had not really thought about that. Good point. question. There is a scene where Mr. Russell calls Marion and Dr. Kirkland in to see that he has recovered miraculously in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And he gives Dr. Kirkland a check.
Yes.
And Dr. Kirkland looks at the check and says, yeah, I can't accept this.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Russell's like, if you're thinking that that's what I owe you for saving my life, I assure you my life is worth much more than that, or something like that. How much money do you think Dr. Kirkland got from Mr. Russell?
Okay, Laura asked the exact same question, and my answer was the equivalent today of $500,000, like $500K.
Okay. So, we're going to get to some numbers in a bit regarding Clock Twink's fortune.
Yes.
And the 300,000-ish he received from selling that clock. I was going to put what Mr. Russell gave Doc Kirkland at somewhere like 50K.
In modern money?
Their money.
Oh, in their money.
In their money.
Okay.
So enough to
millions. So millions in modern contracts.
I think it was like an enormous transfer of wealth that occurred here.
Okay.
But we get no inkling, really, other than Dr. Kirkland saying to what's his new fiance's name? Peggy's dad. He's like, I've got the means to take care of her, and I intend to do so. Something like that, right?
Oh,
so
right. Yeah. But he already kind of had the means. You know,
I feel like we're gonna see
his family is the one giving the big ball. You know, there in Newport.
Right.
That's his mom giving that ball.
Yeah, and even so, he was like, I can't accept this amount of money. It seemed like it was a large amount of money to me, large enough to be potentially status changing for Dr. Kirkland.
All right.
Considering the wealth that Mr. Russell possesses, that's not beyond the
especially given the
realm of possibility.
The mine windfall.
And the old mining there. So that's just something to look for next season.
Okay.
Because Doc Kirkland and Peggy are going to get married here, and this show likes to prove the American dream true and have people rise from the downstairs to the upstairs and such. And I'm just curious to see what happens with the Kirkland fam and their potential upward mobility. The internet can be a wonderful thing. Without it, of course, you wouldn't have access to our ever-entertaining podcast. However, with all the data breaches, hacking, and scamming that occurs online these days, it has never been more important to practice safe browsing and make sure you are protecting yourself with a VPN. That's where today's sponsor, Surfshark, comes in. As Surfshark says, using a VPN is like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private and secure when you step your foot outside. With as much time as I spend online for work, I use Surfshark to keep my personal data safe, protect my identity and browsing history, use public Wi-Fi hotspots without worry, and more. I've got Surfshark set up on all my devices now, so I'm just a couple of taps away from browsing securely no matter where I am. If you've never used a VPN before, listen up. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It's a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. Using a VPN like Surfshark is the only way to be sure your location and IP address are hidden, your online data is safely encrypted, and your browsing history stays invisible to your internet service provider and other third parties. Surfshark is the VPN that just works better, and it couldn't be easier to use. Once you've signed up, you can access and use Surfshark on unlimited devices and protect your entire household with one account to stay safe on public Wi-Fi, access content securely, block ads and malware, and get data breach alerts as well. You can even generate alternative emails to stay safe on different platforms by creating a brand new online identity and a proxy email with alternative ID. Use it to shield your info, plus avoid data leaks in a spam-filled inbox. Remember, without a VPN, concealing your IP address, your online activity is visible to websites and trackers. Use Surfshark to keep your browsing private and secure. Sign up now at surfshark.com/oysters or use code oysters at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose except the anxiety that comes with unprotected browsing. Head to surfshark.com/oysters or use code oysters at checkout now for an extra 4 months of online safety with Surfshark VPN. Stay safe out there, Clam Fam. Use Surfshark. So moving on. Some more season 3 finale stuff. Gay Oscar, whose great love John Adams exploded when he got hit by a horse and carriage, inherited John Adams' summer home in Livingston Manor, upstate New York.
He did, yeah.
Along with money to cover the house's costs for 5 years and a letter. And he decides he wants to kind of use this opportunity, I guess, in the finale to be a player in society again.
Right.
Pounces on Mrs. Winterton, who tried to bang George Russell in season 1. Many of you will remember famously. Yeah. She got fired, somehow married a rich dude, and then the rich dude died?
Rich dude just died, yeah.
So
Speaking of things moving quickly, they just kind of dropped that in there. She's like, "Oh yeah, her husband died," and then she's not going to get invited to Bertha's big ball any longer because that's when she was getting invited because Mr. Winterton was invited. Now she's now she's not Mrs. Well, now he's gone, so she doesn't have to invite her anymore. Oscar,
swoops in,
he puts his
makes
thumb
a
on
deal.
the scale, makes a deal, and gets her in as a little. This could be us, but you playing.
Now, we know Mrs. Winterton is sketchy.
Correct.
I think it is entirely possible she killed her husband. And that, basically what I'm saying is I'm very worried for gay Oscar. I understand what he's trying to do here. I get it. And he's like, screw it. I lost this great love to this tragic horse and buggy accident.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little windfall here. I got a little lucky. I'm going to try to keep pushing the chips into the middle of the table and see how far I can go. But Mrs. Winterton is trouble, dude. We know that. It could be a little less ominous because this is very clearly like an arrangement.
Right.
They're going to use each other.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, Oscar, I didn't feel like by the end of the season, Oscar had gone from down and out, destroyed, ruined his family's fortune, all this, to now suddenly being back and fine. I still feel like he's going to go through some shit. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah. So Oscar was his most sympathetic this season, obviously. He's down and out. He has to rebuild his position in the industry, in the banking industry, build up that client book with the help of John Adams. He finally professes his love for John, says thank you, like all that type of stuff. Like he's really he's finding himself again. We're feeling good about him. Boom, John goes. Now we feel even worse for him because just soon as he was kind of willing to wear his heart on his sleeve, boom, there he goes. But through the first two seasons, I would have called Oscar more of a gray character. Like he's fun, but he's also he doesn't have the best of intent. Oh, season 3, he also saves Maud Beaton, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's really good about the Maud Beaton situation. Seasons 1 and 2, I feel like he's kind of a sketchy character, right?
Compared to everyone else.
He's trying to dupe these women into, he's a gold digger. He's a male gold digger.
A little bit, yeah. You're right. So maybe he's learned his lesson here?
No, so my point was more that I see where they could go more in the direction that you're saying, because Oscar has also kind of been a gray character or one that is a little bit on the outskirts, right? On the margins of the society. He's a part of it. He's in it, but he's not a major player.
Right.
He needs a relationship. He needs a wife, frankly, to be a bigger player, which is essentially what he tells Mrs. Winterton here. So I agree that Turner / Mrs. Winterton could be trouble. I just think Oscar could also be trouble. So
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. That's why I was saying I like where they went with that, because I think that is an interesting pairing.
The problem for me is that they've already proven that they want to use Oscar's character to show that if you try to cut corners to climb the social ladder, bad things are going to happen to you.
Right.
And he's literally doing the exact same thing again.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Clockboy Jack is stupid rich now. I think he's worth like $10 million.
$10 million
in $20-$25, accounting for inflation.
Yep.
So I did a little more research on this. Jack was apparently making somewhere between $20 and $40 a month as a footman.
Okay.
So the $300K he pulled from his clock is 625 years worth of salary if he's making $40 a month, which would be at the high end.
Yeah.
Okay. Making a prediction that's not bold. He's going to marry downstairs Bridget.
Yes.
And be new money scum in season 4.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Because he's sitting in this house and he's got service people now, but he's got no family. It's like just him at this big table that he invites her to sit down at with him, right? But yeah, they're definitely getting together.
I'm glad that you mentioned Bridget. I couldn't figure out how to fit it into my little recap there. One of my favorite old-timey things, how funny was that? Is how they would sit at opposite ends of the table, like 9 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
And it's like the further back you go and like the more wealth, the longer and further away that you'd sit. But I just always find that really funny. That even, this is a smaller dining room table, but they still sit at the heads of it. instead of like sitting in a corner of it or sitting closer to each other or next to each other. Like it's just very.
It reminded me of a scene from the what year is this?
I always find that funny.
1989 Batman.
Yes, dude. I
Michael
literally
Keaton,
had Batman in my.
Michael Keaton,
yep.
Kim Basinger. They're literally 40 feet away from each other in this giant table.
Right.
And they're like, "You want to go?" He's like, "You want to go sit in another room? I've never even been in here before." But yeah. Like this is way too formal.
Yeah. Right.
Why are we
right.
so far apart?
Why are we so far?
We're having to yell. Yeah. And Agnes Van Ryn is set to become the vice president of the New York Heritage Society. Aunt Ada wrote them and made this happen,
right.
which is a really important note.
Yes.
Agnes finally lets Ada sit at the head of the table at dinner because she's running the family as well as this house now. Aunt Ada, a.k.a. Mrs. Forte, finally stops wearing all black and speaking to fraudulent spiritual mediums.
Oh, I didn't catch.
Yeah, she's got on like blue at one point.
The color. Yeah. Oh,
she's letting the light back in, Barrett.
That's great. Great.
Gladys gets her old maid back. She's crushing it over there across the pond. She's pregnant.
Has to say goodbye to bowls.
Yep. Yeah.
Not balls. Balls were
bees?
A motif of episode 7 and 8. This is bowls.
Bowls. She's pregnant. Gladys is pregnant.
Yeah.
Gonna have herself a youngin'. Mrs. Astor actually shows up to the Russell Ball.
Let me go tell father.
Yeah.
Little does she know.
Father's gone.
Father's gone.
Incredible entrance from Mrs. Astor where they show her get out of the carriage and it's just this shot from the back of her walking up and you know immediately like, oh yeah.
Yep. And then
what's her first name? Your good friend?
Lena.
Lena.
Yeah.
That's old Lena.
And then she takes the cloak off and it's just like the best jewels you've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Sick jewels.
Sick family jewels.
Yeah.
It's a good thing Mrs. Russell accepted all the divorced women into society because she's about to be one of them. Railroad Russell says that being shot made him re-examine his life. He only came to the ball to protect the business. He's still extremely pissed off about Gladys's forced marriage, which seems to be like a good situation for Gladys. So I'm not really clocking that.
Yeah, I mean, he even acknowledges like at the ball. I think Mrs. Russell says she's like she's really happy. She made happiness or something like that, and she's not unhappy. Something, and George is like, you're right. She's not unhappy.
Indeed.
So.
Great exchange where George says, I don't blame you for being ruthless. I admire it. It's what we share. But I'm ruthless in business, not with the people I love. And Bertha says, and I'm ruthless for the people I love. Can you not see that? Is this because of the shooting? And he says, maybe. It's made me examine my life. And I don't like everything I see. And I was like, oh, shit, dude.
Yeah.
My God. Now, do we really think he will leave her for real? Or does he just need some space and to send a message that he's sick of her society shit? Can't break up this family, Barrett. You can't do it.
So, yeah. Well, we'll see.
Do you have historical context that you're withholding?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Oh, is that why you're saying you hope they don't stick too close to history?
I don't know.
Because you're in the actual history, I'm assuming that their divorce actually takes place.
I neither confirm nor deny.
This show ceases to be as much fun as it is if you break up Bertha and George, in my opinion.
I agree.
Scrap that.
I do not want them to go there. I'm fine if they want to like keep them apart for a season or something and kind of threaten that and play that out, like Mrs. Russell like being at the head of society as, you know, a separated woman or something. But I need this family to come back together. That is the cheering for the richest people in the world is like the fun part of the Gilded Age.
Right.
Like
as ironic as that is.
As ironic as that is, yes, we like the Russells. I like Bertha and George. They're not the greatest people, but at the end of the day, they care for their family, and it's fun to watch them build the new society and build the new New York and all of that. So,
well, and the show doesn't focus a whole lot on the obvious issues that come with robber barons and the transfer of wealth and the
nodded to it with the union
stuff.
We
got, but even in that, they had George being like, "No, don't kill all these poors."
Yes.
You know, no. There are good people on the other side of that picket line. Let's not gun them all down in cold blood. So, like, they keep you rooting for these guys, even though in real life you likely would not. And like you said, I agree. That is the fun of the show. This season focused a lot on divorce.
It did.
And the effects of divorce on people in society and how you were basically cast out. I think it would be pretty heavy-handed to have that much focus on divorce and that much talk of divorce. We've got multiple characters that are either going through a divorce or going to get divorced in this season between Mrs. Astor's daughter and whatever that one lady whose husband is a total fuck, by the way.
Aurora
what a prick.
Yeah.
Aurora's husband sucks.
Yes. Yep.
I don't want that to continue to be as big of a focus as it was in season 3 and season 4, and I don't really see how that would pan out for the show long term. So my prediction is that they do not go there.
So, right. And that was actually going to essentially be my next comment, is if they go Bertha George divorce, I kind of feel like season 4 might be the last season.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to see how this plays out.
I don't know how you do a season 5 with them divorced.
Yeah.
Like splitting up their story would essentially not let the show work, right? Am I right?
That's how it feels.
That's how it feels to me.
So we'll see. My prediction is that he's just sending a message. He needs to get his hand back and get her to stop fiddling around as much as she is.
Right? Like you think about it, like I'm trying to like they're really the only marriage that we watch. There's Dorothy and Peggy's parents.
Yeah, but we don't spend a whole bunch of time with them.
But we spend a lot less time with them. But that's like off the top of my head, that's the only other like married couple that we watch be married a lot.
Yeah, and the setup of the show was the Van Ryns and the Russells across the street from each other, and Agnes and Ada aren't married. Briefly, Ada.
But Marion,
which one has a dead husband now? Both of them.
Both of them now. Yeah.
Which one married the priest?
Ada.
Yeah. Okay, so Ada was briefly married there for about 45 minutes.
But like Marion continues with these engagements and then non-engagements and calling them off, and like I don't know if we're just going to cycle another dude in. But
they're young.
Year.
They're not power players.
Exactly,
we need these two power players as a pillar here.
But Mrs. Astor, not my good friend Lena. Her husband's nowhere to be seen because she has essentially a fake marriage at this point as well.
Right.
So like. Yeah,
we're just going to keep pulling at the same thread.
We kind of need Bertha and George because they're the power couple. They are the couple that we are kind of watching be married and at the top of their game. So
I have to agree. Curious to see if Ward McAllister weasels his way back in somehow. Great character.
This felt like an exit for Ward to me.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
What's that actor's name?
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane is fantastic. I love him. Mm-hmm. Bummer to lose him, but I think I have to agree with you. He's probably gone. So. What to expect for season 4? We should see season 4 in late 2026 if we are lucky, or early 2027. Okay. That's the gist of the timeline as of right now. I'm curious to see what they tackle next season, aside from the obvious strife in the Bertha and George Russell marriage.
Yep.
Because this season ends pretty devoid of conflict, because like Gladys is happy and pregnant, things are going good across the pond. Mm-hmm. Larry and Marion are happy and engaged again, or maybe we think. Yep. Peggy and Dr. Kirkland are engaged and happy. The Van Ryn house is settled. Aunt Ada runs the house now. Aunt Agnes is the VP of the New York Heritage Society. Clock Boy Jack, Clock Twink.
I'm stealing Clock Twink from Taylor Grayson and her husband, who were
her fiance,
who were famous for Succession parodies mostly, but also just do
fantastic sketches.
Pop culture, Instagram, TikTok sketches, and are doing ones for the Gilded Age.
Yeah, they got in deep on the Gilded Age in the midst of season 3. Yeah. Clockboy Jack is rich, not a footman anymore, has his own fully furnished home. Nice that he got that thing fully furnished.
Let's come back to that one more time. It's a little convenient that Bridget's like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should have given you more of a chance now that Jack is worth $10 million.
Yeah, it's a notable concern.
It's notable that she comes over and brings the stew. Now you got a stew going. And is seemingly ready to like, maybe you still like me?
Yeah.
Now that he's got all the money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but you could chalk it up a few different ways, but it's a little suspicious.
Yeah.
It's a little suspicious, a little troublesome. Gay Oscar is making money again. He's got some property now. He's struck an arrangement with Mrs. Winterton. So, most of the things got wrapped up. Mm. The only one really still in the air is the Russell family strife. And I'm very excited to see what they stir up for next season.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned with how much of it could be focused on George and Bertha and the drama there, because it feels like we've been doing that already. Like he's been trying to get the hint across to her the whole season.
He did.
Stop messing with this stuff. Stop trying to force the marriage. Hey, I don't like that you're doing this. Okay, you're still doing it. Hey, I'm going to tell you one more time. I don't like this. All right, fine. I'll walk her down the aisle. I don't like this, though. I'm super unhappy about this. You keep pushing me. Fuck it, I'm out. So I just...
Maybe it was earned.
It was more earned than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah, you're right. They did hammer it multiple times.
That he was not cool with what she was doing.
Yeah.
And frankly, you have to feel it a little bit. I hear both sides, and I even gave some credence to the whole like arranged marriage aspect of this old world society because it isn't as fairy tale as people like to think it is in our modern age. The Disneyification of marriage and love and all this did not exist at that point in history. Like things were done differently, the world operated differently, and you can hear Bertha's arguments toward why this would be a great thing for Gladys. Like she could shape history, she could make big changes. Now, part of my, to push back a little on what Bertha argues about Gladys's marriage to this Duke, what has Gladys changed as a wealthy woman? All she does is dabble in society and throw balls. And
you mean Bertha?
Bertha, excuse me. What has she done as a wealthy woman? All she does is dabble in society and throw balls and do rich people shit.
Well, she's
not out here fucking doing philanthropy.
Yeah, but she's changed society. She has opened it up to the new money. She has given them a new opera house. She is now she's changing the societal standards and thoughts around divorce.
Right, but I wouldn't say that those things are like world shifting. That's top 0.001% shifting. So it's just curious the way Bertha looks at Gladys's arranged marriage, and then obviously George Russell's the way he looks at it is a little bit more easy for me to identify with. Like, well, you want your daughter to marry for love. You don't want her to marry just some random dude because he's powerful and has a family name, and like now she's just stuck in this relationship with this guy that at this point in history you could not easily exit without major consequences. So I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Another really fun, really enjoyable season. I just thought it was kind of funny how much the pace seemed to uptick in the last couple episodes. Back to what we said earlier, the beauty of the Gilded Age is the high stakes, low stakes. Like that it can feel really dramatic. Like there's nothing quite like when the theme of the show hits at full volume during a scene in the episode, which happens in the finale, where it's all of a sudden it's like I can't do it, but it's like doing that whole build up of the orchestra or whatever. And at the same time, I have never left an episode of the Gilded Age feeling stressed or even after George Russell got shot, I was like, oh shit, wild. Well, moving on with my life. You know what I mean? It didn't stick with me. No. I didn't spend the next day like, oh God, I hope George is okay. I hope his fortune is fine. I worried more about his fortune when it seemed like he was going to lose that than I did about after he got shot, because I was like, he's not going to die. Come on, give me a fucking break. Yep. But all in all, love this show. Love that you caught up with it. Love that we got to talk about it today. And the only other thing I'll throw out at the end of today's pod, because you asked me before we started recording, have you been watching anything else? I did fire up Season 1, Episode 1 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Okay. Yeah. I felt big show right now. I felt pushed into a corner here because of the amount of buzz in the old zeitgeist that this show is getting for what I believe is Season 3, which is on right now. That's right. My wife tried to drag me into it a couple of years ago whenever it first started up, and I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not. No. Sorry, I can't do this. I watched Episode 1 of Season 1. What I can say so far is I get it. I get the vibe the show is capturing. I get the audience it's going after. I don't think I'm part of that audience. I don't think you are either. But I do see the reason it is getting as much buzz as it is. I've also been told by people since I admitted this on Twitter that like I could just skip seasons 1 and 2 and start with season 3 and probably be fine. I think so. And then go watch seasons 1 and 2 as like a prequel if I wanted to. All of that being said, I don't know if I'm going to spend any more time on this. All I wanted to say today was that what it reminds me of is like, I can't remember if this was early high school for us or late middle school, but it was when like the OC was super hot. Yeah. Yeah. And OC was like very, I think, end of middle school, early high school. And like reality shows like Laguna Beach were huge on MTV. And these are shows that were aimed at young adult audiences, right? And when you're watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, my impression was like, okay, so they're reverse engineered a reality TV show. Because it's not reality TV. It's acting, and you know, not to say that all reality TV is real, but it's a scripted, you know, well-cast show where a lot of the characters are just a little bit too good looking. And you're like, this isn't real. But it's kind of fun and dramatic, and it gives you this feel of like what it was like when you're 17, 16 years old, getting to be around 18 years old, about to like go into this more adult phase of your life and all that. And it rings a lot of those bells, and I get it. I understand. I just don't know if I'm going to dedicate 30 hours of my life to watching these fuckers.
It's pretty soapy and female centric. So we are not exactly the intended audience, although I'm sure
a lot of dudes watching.
Yeah, and I'm sure it is like you were essentially saying. It's enjoyable. You will enjoy it almost in spite of yourself, right? Because you think you won't like this type of stuff, but it's juicy and
it was fine. It was fine.
Young love and all that type of stuff. So
the only reason I'm tempted to keep watching is because I want to know why that one teen boy is so angry. The one that's the bad boy that smokes pot with his feet in the pool and makes out with chicks at the bonfire.
Is that Jer or Conrad? Is it one of the two main guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Young one or old one?
Older.
That's Conrad.
He's real angry. Yeah. About something. And
they tell you.
I know you eventually get there. I spent 10 minutes trying to guess. During the episode, mind you, the show is still going on, and I kept turning to my wife, and I'm like, did he get abused? She's like, no. I'm like, did he see a murder? She's like, why are you trying to guess this? I just kept going. I was like, does he have a secret, serious drug problem? But she says none of the things I guessed were correct. I feel like one of the things I guess has to be correct, and now I kind of want to know, and I might just Google it.
Yeah.
Point is, I watched episode 1 of The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Okay.
All right, so everybody get off my back. I tried it, and that's enough. Barrett and I will be back Monday with our discussion and review of The Wire Season 1, Episode 6, which is actually titled The Wire.
Ah.
How about that? Exclusively on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles.
I think we failed to mention on Patreon. So if you're one of our patrons in the Mollusk Militia here, but you can call the hotline. We're doing our monthly
The Wire hotline show.
Yeah. And I mean, you could call about Gilded Age if you want to.
I'll send out a message on Patreon to remind everybody to get those in as well.
But now that is for the hotline, Mollusk Militia exclusive.
Yeah.
While we're covering The Wire, because it is in addition to our weekly Patreon episode.
Indeed. So if you want access to that and the hotline number, jump up to the Mollusk Militia tier on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. Follow Barrett at Barrett Dudley on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me at WR Bolin. You can follow Oysters, Clams, and Cockles on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and the Twitter machine. Until next time, please make your way to the terrace and enjoy our magnificent display of illumination.